So through my work with cats.com, I talk a lot about how to give your cat the best life possible. And a big part of that is purchasing certain products and offering certain things that cost money to your cat. And so it makes sense that one of the most common concerns that I hear about is that these things are expensive. It is increasingly costly to take care of a cat, especially in the best way possible. And I have personal experience with this dilemma. When we first got Wessie, he ate out of an ice cream tub and then later a thrifted metal bowl. He played exclusively with homemade toys. I have a lot of experience with trying to give my cat the best life possible on a limited cat care budget. So in this video, I want to give you an accurate and realistic picture of what it actually costs to take care of a cat right now. First off, you have to get a cat. So this can be either free, where a cat just wanders into your home, or it can cost $1,200 or more if you're getting a purebred cat from a breeder. Now, adoption fees generally range between $35 and $220 or so, depending on which organization you're adopting from. And that cost might include spaying and neutering, microchipping, and early life vaccinations and other veterinary care. Then if the cat was not already spayed and neutered, you're going to have to take them in to have that done. You can get your cat spayed and neutered for as low as $100 at a low-cost spay-neuter clinic, or as much as $550 in some areas. Microchipping and an initial examination will add additional expenses to your bill, and so your initial veterinary costs will add up to somewhere between $235 and just under $1,200. Once that's done, you're going to need to fill your home with cat essentials. Everyone is going to need a carrier to bring the cat home from the vet with. They're going to need some food. They're going to need some litter. They're going to need something to put the food in. But if you're on a really tight budget, certain items like beds, trees, even scratchers can be substituted with household items. And things like a collar and toys aren't really necessary. You can certainly make homemade cat toys or let your cat play with items around the home. If you would like to invest in a few nice cat furniture items and really enrich your home right off the bat, your expenses are going to go up to around $450 on average. So with all of these things considered, the first-time costs of just bringing a cat into your life can vary very widely. So that's going to add up to something between $300 and $4,200. There are so many variables here. It just depends on which kind of cat you're getting, how far you want to go with these first-time expenses, which types of products you like, but it'll certainly be at least $300. Once your cat is settled in, you're going to deal with recurring expenses every single year. The cost of food is going to vary very widely, and it really depends on the type that you buy. So a bottom tier dry cat food, which I would not recommend, can cost about 16 cents a day for a typical cat. And then a cheap wet cat food can cost closer to $1.56 per day. That's like Fancy Feast. Foods that fall into kind of the premium category could go up to $4 a day, and then raw foods can cost even more, in excess of $5 or $6 per day. So on average, cat food expenses will add up to about $315 per year. The next recurring expense that we all have to deal with is cat litter. The cheapest cat litter on the market is pine pellets. You can go to any farm and ranch supply store, get some pine pellets, chuck it in the box, and you have a very economical cat litter costing about maybe $5 a month. More expensive products like a Pretty Litter subscription could go up to more than $50 a month. There's a huge amount of variability in the cost of your cat litter, and you can learn more about typical prices in my video on the best cat litter. On average, though, you're going to end up spending about $250 each year on litter. And then our most expensive category is vet bills. So you have the issue of regular vet visits and veterinary care. Annual checkups and routine vaccinations are generally going to add up to around $100 per year, but you're of course also going to want to set aside some money or use pet insurance to prepare for emergency bills. An emergency operation for something that can happen pretty easily, like swallowing a string, can cost maybe $1,500, and then expenses can go up to something significantly higher. If your cat develops a long-term condition like diabetes or chronic kidney disease, recurring treatment can add up to quite a bit. Annual dental cleanings will also cost about $100 each, but if your cat gets some sort of dental disease and needs to have a tooth pulled, that too can add up to $1,500 or so. You're also going to want to consider flea treatments, dewormers, vaccinations, and this will generally add up to somewhere between $325 and just over $4,000 each year. If you're living in an expensive area, you're taking your cat in regularly, and you're dealing with a lot of regular treatments, medications, and so on. Remember that the cost of veterinary care varies widely across the United States and other countries, and so you're going to have to check the prices in your area to really get a feel for how much these things cost. My last point is that having a cat can lead to costs in other areas of your life. So for example, if you're a renter, you might have to deal with pet deposits or pet rent associated with having a cat. There can be licensing in certain areas, so you have to have your cat licensed. That'll cost some money. And then there are additional accessories and supplies you might end up purchasing beyond the essentials. So if you want to get your cat a harness, or you want to get them a nice fountain or feeder or a security camera, any of these interesting little things that are out there to support cat people will cost some additional money. So according to my estimations, the least you can end up spending per year for your cat is going to be about $440. That's when you're buying the cheapest cat food, the cheapest cat litter, spending the bare minimum at the vet. You're not buying a lot of accessories. You're doing everything on the cheap. Now, on the other hand, if you have a really big year, you end up working with a cat sitter, you're buying your cat some nice accessories, and you maybe end up taking them into the vet for an emergency. That annual expense can get a lot higher, going up close to $9,000 over the course of the year. So there's a lot of variation here based on lifestyle. Somewhere in that range is to be anticipated. So consider the type of lifestyle that you're willing to lead with your cat, and make your projections accordingly. And remember that for every additional cat, these costs are going to increase. So bear that in mind before adding another cat to your family. Now, if you need help keeping costs down, I would recommend checking out my video on new cat essentials for people on a budget. So that'll get you started at a low price. And I'll also put a link in the description to some low-cost veterinary care options. All of that should help you to choose the cheapest options and save money on your cat. Before I finish up here, I want to answer a question from Bunny Lang, which is relevant to this video. Bunny Lang asks, can you please do a video on the best foods for those of us who have many rescue cats that can keep the price down? Thank you. So fortunately, I have already done a video on this. It was done a couple of years ago. So you're going to want to check the pricing in the article linked in the description. It should be more up to date. And that should give you some good recommendations for all of your rescued cats. In short, I would recommend the foods from Costco. They're not perfect, but both their dry and their wet foods are significantly better than other low-cost foods at the same price. I would also recommend options from Nulo and Fancy Feast. These can be good budget-friendly options. So check out the video in the article. I'll put a link in the description, and I hope this helps. Thank you so much for asking. And with that, I will see you around in the comment section and be with you in the next video. Talk soon.